Yeah. So to start with, the first element of this particular framework is teaching presence. Now, what is the meaning of teaching presence? So teaching presence is a teacher's ability to design, facilitate, and guide the student learning as we do it in classroom to achieve specific outcomes. So we know that from this lecture, student should understand this. Student should be able to do something after this particular lecture. So what teaching presence means is it's a teacher's ability to design some material, facilitate that material use, and guide the students in the process of learning to achieve some specific outcomes. Then the second element is known as cognitive presence. So basically, what is a cognitive presence? It is the ability to construct knowledge and understanding. So how do we do that? For example, we are sitting in the classroom. Students are also there. So we sometimes ask questions. We probe questions. We pose some question to them. If something of this type happens, what do you think will happen? So that way, that question posing, now it is leading to some thinking process. And that way now students are thinking about different possibilities. That way now they'll discuss with their other students, their peers, and knowledge construction will happen. And through that way, they'll understand the concepts. Now, how do they do that? They do it individually as well as collectively. It's not an individual process. It's not student just listens and he learns. He listens. He asks something to other students. He asks something to teacher. He discusses, and through that collective efforts, the learning is happening. So this is the meaning of cognitive presence. Now, what this overlap is? So basically, this overlap is nothing but regulating learning. So here, teacher will regulate the learning. So for example, as I said, teacher will pose question, ask students to discuss, then again bring them back to whatever he's saying. So he'll share his own meaning of something. So that way he's regulating student learning. So this overlap is nothing but student learning regulation. The third aspect is social presence. So it is nothing but the ability to project oneself as real, both socially and emotionally. So to just give you a simple example, in the classroom, when you ask question, so some students raise hand. Okay, so they project themselves as real. They say, yeah, okay, so I have a doubt. They raise their hand, or they talk to some student. They discuss with them. So they project themselves really. So that real picture of themselves they project into the community in which you as well as students are there. And how it happens? It happens socially as well as emotionally. Okay. Now the next part is related with this overlap. So this is nothing but setting climate. What it means? So for example, as a teacher, I'm encouraging collaboration. I'm asking students to discuss. So that way I'm setting a climate for those students, saying that you can discuss. Okay, you should discuss. Or you enable risk-free expression. You can say that, yeah, you should voice your opinion. You can tell me if you are not understanding something. Social presence and cognitive presence, this overlap is nothing but supporting discourse. It means that if students collaborate with each other, then they'll exchange some information. After that exchange, they may connect their own ideas with whatever they have discussed, and they may try to individually or together apply different ideas to different context. So a simple example. For example, you are teaching some subject where there is problem solving involved. So you solve one problem, and then after that, you gave some problem to students. And what you ask them to do is, okay, you have to solve this problem on your own. But now you can discuss with other students, with your friends, you can discuss. So they may exchange information in that. And someone knows X, someone knows Y. They'll discuss, they'll exchange that information. Then student A may connect X with Y. And according to that, now he is in a position to say, apply his idea to the new problem that is given to him. That way, this sense and meaning making will happen. So these aspects are very important to understand. And all this together will create an educational experience both for teacher as well as student. So it's not only designing material, it's not only collaboration, it's not only giving some task, it's about all together. So that will create the educational experience. So who will do this? So basically this element teacher takes care of, because mostly course material design, teaching methods, then design of assessments, it's taken care of by teacher. But this cognitive presence aspect, both students and teacher will take care of. So here regulation of learning is happening from both sides. Okay. And similarly, here also in social presence, student and teacher both are responsible for establishing social presence.